Hello there, villagers, and welcome back to another video here in Stacy's Random POV. And it is with a heavy heart that I have to bring you guys this video. It's about an Iranian little boy who was slammed on the floor by a 39-year-old Israeli man in a Moscow airport, where it's just a very hot mess. It's gotten people in a big turmoil. The gentleman is arrested, thank God. However, the baby is now in critical condition, in a coma, I believe, with fractures to his skull. And we are just waiting to see what's going to happen with this baby later on. And so I brought you guys some opinions from other people. And of course, I'm going to play the video here of exactly the slamming and everything. So please, viewer discretion is advised. If you are a sensitive person, you might want to skip that part. It's only 20 seconds long. And so let's get this discussion started. This is all because of hate and ignorance. And let me just say, their parents, the baby's parents, are so much better than me, because trust me, I would have raised hell on that man. I can't wait to get this discussion started. See you guys in the comments. Have a great day.
So this guy, this Belarusian man, picked up an 18-month-old baby at an airport and slammed him so violently onto the ground that he fractured his skull and his spine. And multiple reasons have come out as to why he did this. Apparently some people are saying he was under the influence, he was drunk, he was not in his right mind. But the thing is, he looked around, made sure no one was looking before he did this. Kind of like when you really want to do something bad, but you don't want anybody to see. So I'll give you a little bit of context and you can do with it what you want. He was an 18-month-old Afghan baby. You could tell from his looks he wasn't your typical white European kid. So yeah, run with that information. Tell me what you think. I'm not going to insinuate anything, but...
You're right. When we're delivering the news, it's important to be accurate and not mislead anybody. In my last video, if you follow this comment back to the video, it'll show you that I had started the video off by saying, trigger warning, what you're about to see is one of God's chosen people. And what I meant by that was, trigger warning, what you're about to see is an Israeli full-grown man in a Russian airport named Vladimir Vitkov picking up a Iranian toddler that is 18 months old over his head and slamming the toddler's body to the floor face first, causing skull fractures, spinal injuries, and put the child into a coma. Again, you can go back to this comment and follow it to the video, or you can just click down here at the name, it'll go back to the video. But in saying it was God's chosen people, I thought we were clear as to who we were referring to, but you're right, there are people out there in the world who don't know that Israel claims that they are God's chosen people. So just to clarify that, I'm making this video. I don't want people to go back and see the original video of Vladimir Vitkov body slamming a child into the floor, but you know, it's important that we get our facts straight. It's important that everybody knows that it was of an Israel man that had body slammed a child in an unprovoked manner while trying to claim defense that he was on substances. All right, glad that you made me clarify that so that everybody knows it was an Israeli man who committed that atrocity in an unprovoked manner while trying to blame it on a substance. So, thank you. Thank you for making me clarify that.
When a mother cries, we all cry with you. Doesn't matter what ethnic background, what part of the world you live, what language you speak. A story no mother should ever have to hear, and everybody needs to know. She came fleeing from Iran, pregnant, exhausted, terrified, but hopeful. Hopeful that somewhere, someone would open the door, that her baby, just a year and a half old, would finally be safe, that life might give them peace after so much fear. She made it to Moscow, to the airport, to a place where she thought, I can finally breathe. But evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it walks quietly. It wears a travel bag. Sometimes it's standing right behind you. While she turned away just for a moment to pick up the stroller, a man walked up to her baby, Vladimir, 31-year-old, from Belarus. Under the influence, he picked up the baby and slammed him on the airport floor like he was nothing, like that child didn't matter, like he was not her whole world. And all she could do was scream, run, break, watch the little body she grew inside her go limp, broken, her child, her reason to live, now fighting to stay alive. He is in a coma with a fractured skull, spinal injuries. He may never be the same if he survives. And that man, when they questioned him, he said, I made mistakes like that before. A mistake? How do you call this a mistake? He has a daughter, a child of his own, and yet he did this. I can't imagine the life that kid had. This is not just a crime, this is a warning, because they don't always come at night. They sometimes come out at noon. Airports, places, public places. When your guard is down for just 1 second, for every mother out there, never let go, not even for a moment, because the world isn't always kind, and no one would ever protect your baby like you do. This mother crossed borders. She carried her child to cross fear, war, hunger, only to lose control. And in the one place she thought that she was finally safe, this is not just her tragedy. This is a scream for every mother here.
Let me tell y'all something. This world is turned upside down. I just saw a man in a video that walked up to a baby, all smooth, creeped up on him. That's why you gotta watch your children too. When he walked up on that baby, he grabbed that baby in the airport and slammed that baby down on the ground. Now hear me out. We all know how hard the airport floors are. But why is you walking up to an innocent child to body slam him on the floor like that? The video in my repost. Y'all, we living in the last days. Get your homes, houses, townhouses, RVs. I don't know where you live at. Get your homes, like I say, houses, wherever. Get them in order. Get a relationship with God and pray over your families. And I mean pray hard. This is a strange time for us to be on top of this dirt. I want y'all to think about all the things that's going on out here. I'm not talking about the small things. I'm talking about the things, the stories you hear that make you say, now this is unbelievable. This kind of thing don't happen. You know what I'm saying? You have to stay prayed up. Watch your children. Because being honest, you shouldn't even be able to even got that close to that baby, to do that to that baby. Cleveland, Ohio, they just had apartment complex blew up. They got so many stories about that. I'm gonna have to come back and do another video. People coming outside burned, skin falling off, saying they said they smelled gas, and then they also say some children was playing with fire. I don't know. I don't really know. I gotta go dig more into that story. But that's another sad story. Every day, it's just something you be like, this is not right. This is not. Pray and pray hard over your families and pray every day and build a relationship with God. Hugs and love. Y'all be blessed, J-Lo. Mwah.
Look, I don't need to hear this, but I gotta report this message. You sad, selfish, sad case of a man. This story is so heartbreaking, I really don't even want to report it, but I got to. My name is Kimo and I do motivational content on TikTok, and today I want to talk about a story about a 2-year-old baby. And how a grown man slammed a 2-year-old baby on his head inside a Moscow airport for no reason. And the crazy part is it's all on camera. One thing for sure, I'm a father. What happened in that airport was hell on earth. This man, demonic, selfish coward, saw a helpless toddler and picked him up and slammed him on his head first on the concrete inside the airport. The kid didn't do nothing. Matter of fact, the kid looked at him scared. All because the kid and his mom, which was a pregnant woman, was fleeing from Iran. And he felt like he was justified to be the judge, jury, and execution of a child. Now that little boy's in a coma with a fractured skull and spinal injuries. In a coma. This only happened because the mom stepped away to go grab her stroller. And that moment of vulnerability was exploited. But the worst part is, he didn't even run. He stood there cool as if he had the right to do it. Like he was entitled to do it. And then he stared at the child after slamming him down on the floor. Like he was some type of judge passing the sentence. You see that? That's evil in plain sight. That toddler didn't sign up for no war. He doesn't understand politics, he can barely talk. But yet this dumbass coward took matters into his own hands and nearly instantly killed this innocent child. We can't let cowards like this go unnoticed. It doesn't matter if it didn't happen in the US. We demand justice. We demand accountability. And no matter what I do, I'ma stand up for the voiceless. Even that tiny child is caught up in the chaos. If you believe this child deserves justice, comment justice for the innocent. Share this video to get awareness. It doesn't matter. You have to protect your kids. No human, no matter where you're from, deserves violence. This is not a story. This is a wake-up call. And if nobody told you, remember Chemo told you, stay motivated and protect your kids because their life depends on it.
I just watched the most disturbing video I have seen in a very long time. So disturbing that I will not be showing it on my page, and I will encourage each and every one of you not to go find it. Just the other day, a grown man in a Moscow airport picked up a 2-year-old, an Iranian 2-year-old that he does not know, and body slammed him into the ground. I'll repeat myself. A grown man, unprovoked, saw a 2-year-old Iranian boy in a Moscow airport minding his business, picked him up and body slammed him into the ground. That baby has experienced skull fractures and spinal injuries, and he is now in a coma fighting for his life because a grown man picked him up in an airport and body slammed him. The type of hate and violence that man has festering in his soul that he thought body slamming a 2-year-old was an appropriate action to do in broad daylight in front of so many people. And I really don't even have the words to express how I feel in this moment, because we know that people like him exist all over the world right now. People who seek to take advantage of the geopolitical climate and conflict that is happening and use it as a moment to spew their hate in their everyday lives, impacting people who are just existing. And we as a society cannot outrun that kind of hate, right? It just doesn't go away because of new generations that come about. Those things are taught in the household and perpetuated in communities. We have to get back to shaming people and holding them accountable for the type of hatred they continue to try to project onto the rest of us.
Please, God, give me the strength. I just saw a terrifying video of a tiny little boy, couldn't have been older than 2 or 3 years old, just get body slammed by a full-grown man at the airport. I will not even be posting even an iota of that video because my literal heart just went to my stomach. Apparently, the mother and her son were fleeing Iran, and this man was in the middle of the airport with this little boy with his tiny little suitcase, came up from behind the boy, from behind him, flipped him in the air and body slammed this guy. This kid, I can't even think straight. My brain is mush right now. This poor little kid is in a coma right now. What is wrong with this world? Like, why would you take your frustrations out on a child? A helpless, defensiveless, poor little child. And then you had to go behind the kid's back. I honestly can't believe what I just watched. I can't even believe what I just watched. Please, God, please.
This 2-year-old toddler was picked up and slammed headfirst on the airport ground by this unknown, random, grown-ass man for no reason, y'all. So in the video, you can see this man like inching beside the child looking at him like a toddler do. And then out of nowhere, this man just picked the child up and then slam him. This happened in Moscow airport in Russia, y'all. An Iranian mom that was pregnant with her 2-year-old son fled Iran to Russia to get away from the little conflict that was going on down there. Just for her to land there and moments later for this man she don't know to slam her child. And now he's in a coma. I would have blacked out so fast, y'all. This man wouldn't have made it nowhere. He wouldn't have been able to get picked up by the cops. And no handcuffs. They would have came with a bag and a zipper. This child did not deserve that shit, bro. And now as a parent, the way the world works now, you got to stand right beside your child because you never know what be going on with people's brain. People is out here just losing it, bro.
If you guys haven't already watched the video of the guy slamming the 2-year-old to the ground at the airport, I do not recommend you guys watching that video. Apparently, the guy's name is Vladimir Vitkov, and this incident took place inside of an airport. He was pretty much standing right next to a 2-year-old toddler, minding his own business. He decides to pick up this toddler by his legs and then slam him straight up head first to the ground. Afterwards, 2 guys showed up, saw him, didn't do shit to him, and then the guy that threw the kid to the ground pretended that he got hurt and he ended up laying to the ground. If I was in that situation, if I was there and I even saw that and I even put one or one together, I would demolish or destroy that guy. I would literally kill that guy. I'm not even going to lie. All right. His mom, the 2-year-old's mom was there, and apparently she was not there. I have no idea where the hell she was. And this is why, guys, girls, do not leave your kids around any strangers. I'm just saying, man, today's world is fucking crazy. People are fucking nuts, all right? Make sure if your kid is young and he can't take care of himself or she can't take care of herself, do not let them out of your sight when you're in public, all right? But yeah, hope that guy goes to jail, and I hope he gets what he deserves, man. That was such a bad video to watch. I do not recommend anybody watching that video. I'm just saying, that was bad. But yeah, guys, I'm out.